gradient descent will not make you generalize well. It will make you solve the problem.
Right.
It will not make you, get new data, you generalize in a good way. Generalization means train on one thing that affects what you do on the other things. So we know deep learning is really bad at this. For example, we know that if you train on some new thing, it will often catastrophically interfere with all the old things that you knew.
Mm-hmm.
So this is exactly bad generalization.
Right.
Now, generalization, as I said, is some kind of influence of training on one state on other states. And generalization is not necessarily good or bad, right? Just the fact that you generalize is not necessarily good or bad. You can generalize poorly, you can generalize well.
Right.
So you need, generalization always will happen, but we need algorithms that will cause the generalization to be good rather than bad.
I'm not trying to kickstart this initial crux again, but I'm just genuinely curious because I think I might be using the term differently. I mean, one way to think about it is these LLMs are increasing the scope of generalization from like earlier systems, which could not really even do a basic math problem, to now they can do anything in this class of math Olympiad type problems, right? So you initially start with like they can generalize among addition problems, at least. Then you generalize to like they can generalize among like problems which require use of different kinds of mathematical techniques and theorems and conceptual categories, which is like what the math Olympiad requires. And so it sounds like you don't think of that being able to solve any problem within that category as an example of generalization, or let me know if I'm misunderstanding that.
Well, large language models, so complex. We don't really know what information they had prior. We have to guess because they've been fed so much. This is one reason why they're not a good way to do science. It's just so uncontrolled, so unknown.
But if you come up with an entirely new...
They're getting a bunch of things right, perhaps. And so the question is why? Well, it may be that they don't need to generalize to get them right because the only way to get some of them right is to form something which gets all of them right. Mm-hmm. So, if there's only one answer, and you find it, that's not called generalization. It's the only way to solve it, and so they find the only way to solve it.
Mm-hmm.
Generalization is when it could be this way, it could be that way, and they do it the good way.
My understanding is that they this is working more and more, or better and better with coding agents. So engineers, obviously, if you're trying to program a library, there's many different ways you could achieve the end spec. And an initial frustration with these models has been that they'll do it in a way that's sloppy. And then over time, they're getting better and better at coming up with the design architecture and the abstractions that developers find more satisfying. And it seems that an example of what you're talking about.
Well, there's nothing in them which will cause it to generalize well. The gradient descent will cause them to find a solution to the problems they've seen. And if there's only one way to solve them, then, they'll do that. But there are many ways to solve it, some which generalize well, some which generalize poorly. There's nothing in them, in the algorithms, that will cause them to generalize well. But people, of course, are involved. And,
right.
And if it's not working out, they fiddle with it until they find a way, perhaps until they find a way which it generalizes well.
If you enjoyed this clip, you can watch the full episode here and subscribe for more clips. Thanks.